Children, come back to online classes. Today we are going to see the remaining part of the history chapter number 2. Today our topic is the company army. Colonial rule in India brought in some new ideas of administration and reform, but its power rested on its military strength. The Mughal army was mainly composed of cavalry, that means savars, trained soldiers on horseback, and infantry, that is pedal foot soldiers. They were given training in archery, tirandazi, and the use of the sword. The cavalry dominated the army, and the Mughal state did not feel the need to have a large professionally trained infantry. The rural areas had a large number of armed peasants, and the local zamindars often supplied the Mughals with pedal soldiers. A change occurred in the 18th century when Mughal successors states like Awadh and Banaras started recruiting peasants into their armies and training them as professional soldiers. The East India Company adopted the same method when it began recruitment for its own army, which came to be known as the Sepoy army. From the Indian, it came from Sepoy came from the Indian word Sipahi, meaning soldier. As warfare technology changed from the 1820s, the cavalry requirements of the company's army declined. This is because the British Empire was fighting in Burma, Afghanistan, and Egypt, where soldiers were armed with muskets and matchlocks. Muskets here means a heavy gun used by infantry soldiers, and matchlocks is an early type of gun in which powder was ignited by a match. The soldiers of the company's army had to keep pace with changing military requirements, and its infantry regiments now became more important. So, the explanation of these paragraphs is as follows. British strengthened its military to become more powerful. The Mughal army was composed of cavalry and infantry soldiers. Cavalry means that is savars, trained soldiers on horseback. Infantry, pedal soldiers, trained in archery, tirandazi, and use of the sword. In rural areas, large number of armed peasants and the local zamindar supplied the Mughals with pedal soldiers. So, a change came in 18th century when Mughal successors of Awadh and Banaras, they started recruiting peasants in their armies and training them. The East India Company also adopted the same method when it began recruitment for its own army, so which came to be known as Sepoy army. Then a new technology, a warfare technology, which is from the which is technology changed from the 1820, is that the cavalry requirement of the company army declined. This is because the British Empire was fighting in Burma, Afghanistan, and Egypt. Their soldiers were using muskets and matchlocks. The soldiers of the company's army had to keep pace with changing military requirement, and its infantry regiments now became more important. So in the early 19th century, the British began to develop a uniform military culture. Soldiers were increasingly subjected to European style training, drill, and discipline that regulated their life far more than before. So often this created problems since caste and community feeling were ignored in building a force of professional soldiers. Could individuals so easily give up their caste and religious feelings? Could they see themselves only as soldiers and not as member of community? What did the sepoys feel? How did they react to the changes in their lives and their identity, that is, their sense of who they are? The revolt of 1857 gives us a glimpse in the world of sepoys. This we will read in chapter number 5 about this revolt. Conclusion. Thus, the East India Company was transformed from a trading company to a territorial colonial power. The arrival of new steam technology in the early 19th century also aided this process. Till then, it would take anywhere between 6 and 8 months to travel to India by sea. Steamships reduced the journey time to 3 weeks, enabling more Britishers and their families to come to a far off country like India. By 1857, the company came to exercise direct rule over about 63% of the territory and 78% of the population of the Indian subcontinent. Combined with its indirect influence on the remaining territory and population of the country, the East India Company had virtually the whole of India under its control. Now let us see match the following. Here first is Diwani. The correct match for Diwani is right to collect land revenue. Second is Tiger of Mysore. The answer is Tipu Sultan. Fauzdari Adalat. The correct match for this is Criminal Court. Next is Rani Chennamma. The correct answer is lead an anti-British movement in Kittur. Then last is Sipahi. Sipahi. The answer for this Sipahi is Sepoy. Then comes fill in the blanks. The British conquest of Bengal began with the Battle of Plassey. Second is Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan were the rulers of Mysore. In blank, Mysore is the answer. Then next is Dalhousie implemented the doctrine of lapse. Answer is lapse. Maratha kingdom were located mainly in the western part of India. In the blank, western will come. Maratha kingdoms were located mainly in the western part of India. Then the Mughal Empire became stronger in the 18th century. Say whether true or false. The Mughal Empire became stronger in the 18th century. It is false. Then next is the English East India Company was the only European company that traded with India. This is also false. Third is Maharaja Ranjit Singh was the ruler of Punjab. It is true. The next is the British did not introduce administrative changes in the territories they conquered. It is false.